Hello and welcome to Just Pauses. Our minds are complex structures, don't you think so? They yearn to be free when we are overworked, and they yearn to be engaged in something when they are free. Most of the times, our minds remain drowned in thoughts or in some action. And if there are moments in between when there is no thinking and no work, we begin to feel bored. What about you? Do you get bored easily? How often? Does the prospect of sitting bored for an hour doing nothing scare you? Do you feel anxious if you have nothing to entertain yourself with? While one meaning of boredom is what we feel when there is nothing to do, the other one is what we feel when we are engaged in repetitive or monotonous tasks. And the latter one can make us capable of harmful actions too. Like that boy, the little boy who was bored in the classic tale of the boy who cried wolf. The young shepherd was bored of that monotonous job of tending sheep on a hill day after day, and out of sheer boredom, he tricked the nearby villagers twice by crying, "Wolf, wolf," for attention. But when a real wolf appeared, the villagers ignored his cries, resulting in the loss of his flock. These days, in fact, one gets to hear this expression from a very large number of kids. "I am bored." And I am bewildered thinking that how can a kid feel bored? A child's mind is a live wire storehouse of creativity. Kids are capable of thousands of thoughts and actions, and they can invent the most bizarre games and songs and stories in a moment. And they have hundreds of other creative things to do. But they get bored at school. They get bored with their toys and games just a day after purchasing them. They get bored when adults talk, and they get bored even on vacations. Imagine. We do not teach our kids how monotony can be made interesting, and it can build resilience, discipline, and strong routines. Here I am reminded of the terrific Italian movie Life is Beautiful, which was released in 1997, and in which a cheerful father uses imagination and humor to shield his son from the horrors of a Nazi concentration camp. They are in a concentration camp. Imagine what could be more frightening. But the father cheerfully convinces his son that the imprisonment is an elaborate high stakes game to win a real tank. He thinks of a lot of endearing ways to make living in a concentration camp fun for his child. And here we are, not able to teach our kids how to make school time interesting or enjoy moments when there is nothing to do. Someone had once said on embracing the monotony of existence that mountains never get tired of being mountains, and waterfalls never get tired of being waterfalls. And if not bored with the repetitive tasks, we are simply scared of the boredom that comes from moments of doing nothing. Those few minutes when we are between tasks, or we are waiting for someone, or we have a plane or a train to catch, those few holidays when no dinners or trips to the malls are planned, and those few minutes when spouses have nothing to talk, we feel anxious in those moments. Psychologists have begun pointing out that boredom is good and it is essential. But our ego is very scared that if there is nothing to do, difficult thoughts and questions about the very meaning of our life might demand answers. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Pascal had said so very aptly. As we know, he was a brilliant French mathematician, physicist, inventor, writer, philosopher, and a theologian. And he agreed that we need to sit quietly with ourselves. We hardly spend any time on our relationship with ourselves. If you don't have a relationship with yourself, all other relationships become shallow. It is important that we live certain moments not occupying ourselves cognitively. Those moments of doing nothing introduce us to ourselves if we let them. But as soon as such moment comes, we rush to pick up the cell phones and we start scrolling or chatting, or we switch on the TV or put on the headphones. We get uncomfortable if we have none of these gadgets around and we are all by ourselves. Once Mullah Nasruddin told his wife, "I think you should spend a few days in solitude with yourself." And his wife replied, "But Mullah, I would get so bored being alone." To this, Mullah smiled and said, "My dear, if you find yourself boring, how can you be interesting for others?" If doing nothing makes you feel bored, it is a good first step. Do not be scared of it. Smile and either try to just sit still and feel good, or use the time to sharpen your observation skills. Watch everything around you, or watch your breath, or have a chat with your instincts, or look at yourself inwardly. A student once complained to his Zen master, "I am trying to follow and watch my breath as you instructed, but it is so boring. I cannot keep my focus." The master said nothing. Instead, he grabbed the student by the neck, dragged him to a nearby well, and forced his head under the water. The student struggled, gasping for air, and after a few seconds, the master pulled him out. As the student caught his breath, gasping and shivering, the master asked him calmly, "And is it still boring to watch your breath?" The student realized that when the mind is fully present, not for entertainment, but for survival, for life itself, boredom vanishes and only the moment exists. Thank you.